From a Fitch perspective, I'll try and speak to that. Other agencies may see it slightly differently. It really is about providing a useful opinion on creditworthiness, and it could be on a company or transaction because there's a lot of different things that you put ratings to. But it's really making sure that it's credible, that there's accountability behind it, and that it's a useful reference point for people who may be making particular investment decisions. It in itself is not an investment recommendation. The process itself is actually very much the same. I would say universally, there's a lot more that goes into the kind of internal control elements of the ratings to make sure that, parties involved are satisfied that conflicts of interest are addressed, that policies and procedures are robust, that, the work and infrastructure behind the rating is appropriate for kind of how impactful they can be. Relative to what gets written as criticisms, I think they would be amazed at kind of the robustness of actually what goes into each rating decision, from people, process, structure, the volume of information that would be in a particular decision, kind of the vast infrastructure, particularly for the bigger rating agencies, just because we cover so much relative. You have 1,200 analysts and 50 offices around the world. That's a lot of data points that really help inform your decision. And it really is the communication around that. So, how is that information being shared and then influencing, criteria decisions, rating decisions. So I think, relative to, sometimes it could come across as maybe that those decisions are kind of more singularly based by a particular analyst. But it's not. It really is. It's a group decision. The committees are the ones who make those decisions, and it really is kind of the company's opinion, not a particular individual. You could say investor, and it could mean a lot of different things, right? It could be an institutional long-term buy and hold, or it could be a hedge fund. So the ratings are typically meant to be kind of longer term in nature. So, those with that type of view is who would better align with, not necessarily somebody making a short-term trade. So for those that have approached things similar to us, I think there has been an appreciation for what rating agencies do. I think what you would hear from them today is, what I think we've gotten much better at is not just trying to answer it with the rating. I think we've added a lot in terms of research, different types of research, the frequency of the research we do. So it's so much more about being very clear on what's behind the rating decision, or how you got there, or the data that supports it, than just the rating per se. I think people often underappreciate the footprint or the depth and breadth of what the rating agencies kind of do and what's involved in their day-to-day. So with the number of analysts we have around the globe, there's a lot of important data points to see what's going on in particular markets or sectors, and how that can help you have a more informed decision, maybe in something not directly involved. So my example would be lessons we had learned in U.S. RMBS, and then taking that and really developing what we call the sustainable home price model, and then using that, not that particular model, but redeveloping it for markets like EMEA and Australia, where when you look at some of the valuation curves, they could be quite concerning.